So Zok the Gemara, according to the Mandamer who says, Kerem Revai, we lost one of the Kodesh Hilulim Lashems, because one of them is to teach us that it has to be a Kerem. So how are you going to know? How are we going to know the halacha of Bracha Rishona? And now the Gemara says, and it's a little bit more complicated, because even if you learn Kerem Revai, we still might have a way out. Well, the Manda Tani Kerem Revai, maybe I learn the halacha of Kerem Revai not from this pasuk of Kodesh Hilulim. Maybe I have another source for that, which again frees up Kodesh Hilulim Hashem. Hanicha Yalef Gzer Shava. If the makar that a Revai only applies to a Kerem is from a different pasuk, from a Gzer Shava, that clears away one slot available of Kodesh Hilulim Hashem. Tanya, Rabbi Omer, Nemar Kan Lahoysev Lachem Tevu Asay. It says in the pasuk, let's look up the whole pasuk. Uvashana HaChamishis, on the 5th year, Toichlu as Pirya, you should eat the pears. Lahoysev Lachem Tevu Asay, Ani Hashem Alekeichem. So it says Lahoysev Lachem Tevu Asay. V'Nemar Lahalon, and it says further on, Leisizra Karmach HaKlayim, Pentiklish Amaleya Azera, Asher Tizra Usafu Asakarim. And it says Tvuas HaKerem. So we could learn Ma Lahalan Kerem, just like when it says Tvuas HaKerem in Devarim, it's referring to a vineyard. Avkan Kerem. So too when it says Lahaisuv Lachem Tvuasoi, it's also referring to a Kerem. And the first pasuk is talking about on the 5th year, the pears are free and clear. So that was talking about the first 3 years are Arla, the 4th year is Revai, 5th year is free and clear. And we're talking about Tvua, and Tvua, we learn from another pasuk, is referring to a Kerem. So if that's the makar, then I don't need to learn that halacha from Kodesh Hilulim Hashem, and then I yaser lechat hilul lebracha. So now I have an extra hilul from Kodesh Hilulim Hashem to teach us about a bracha rishona. But v'lo yalav gzer shava. But if you don't learn that gzer shava, he didn't have that kabbalah to learn that gzer shava, so he has to learn it from Kodesh Hilulim Hashem. Bracha minole. How will this Tana learn the makar to a bracha rishona? V'nami yalav gzer shava, and even if you do learn the gzer shava, which would also make that Tana on par with the Mandamar who holds net Revai, because he doesn't even have a limud that it's only referring to a Kerem. That's only Ashkan Achrov. We only have, out of the Kodesh Hilulim, only one is available, because from the other one we still learn that Revai needs to be redeemed. We still learn Chilul. So I only have one Hilul available. That I would apply to La'achrov. Why would I apply to La'achrov first? Because Toshes tells us the Iker Bracha La'achrov Kedichsiv V'Yachalta V'Savata V'Rachta. We have a Deraisa Dikimekar to teach us that you have to make a Bracha Achroina. So if you have only one limud, you'll say that it applies to La'achrov. L'fana V'Nayin, how do you know that there's also a Chiyuv to make a Bracha before you eat? That's not shver already. Because once I establish that I need a bracha achroina, the asyi bekal v'chomer. Kishu sevei mefarach. If the Torah is mechayiv you to make a bracha, to bench, when you're satisfied, when you're not in such great need, you're already satisfied. Kishu rav like again. Surely, when he's hungry, he has to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom. We all know the famous story with the fellow who had an appointment in Manhattan, and he was looking for a parking spot, and it was an important appointment. It was at 1 o'clock. And he was driving around the block and he couldn't find a spot. And if he's late to his appointment, he could lose a lot of money. So he told the Rebbeinu Shalom, you have to find me a spot. This is a very important meeting and nothing's opening up. So Rebbeinu Shalom, I'll give you $10,000. I'll give $10,000 to Zucker if you give me a parking spot. Because this is a big investment. I need it. All of a sudden a spot opens up. He pulls in. Hashem, forget it. I'm good. Deal's off. What? So when he's rov, if he has to make a bracha when he's saveh, for sure when he's rov. Yeah, I think so. But I just want to preface that if you don't understand it and you feel it's not a really good kal v'chomer, you're in line with the Gemara. Because Tosfos asks, if you have a kal v'chomer is one of the Yud Gimel Midas, Shatar Nidreshes Pen. So if this is a real bona fide kal v'chomer, then there should be a mitzvah daraisa to make a bracha lefanel. So obviously it's not a real kal v'chomer, right? Because otherwise it would be a daraisa. So madach, when you're very needy, you thank the Rebbeinu. No, so madach, you thank the Rebbeinu when you're not so needy. Kol sheken, you have to thank the Rebbeinu when you're very needy.
Say when you're not so needy. Say when you're zat.
That's right. It means you're not so needy. And when you're satisfied, I'm not in need now. I don't have an urgent need right now. Nevertheless, I still have to thank your Rebbeinu Shalom. So when you have an urgent need right now, surely you should have to thank your Rebbeinu Shalom. Even if you found the parking spot, you still have to thank your Rebbeinu Shalom.
It's because you found the parking spot that you thank him. You're not asking him for a parking spot. That's my problem. My problem is that you're not asking. You're thanking.
And I understand.
Only thank after you're
You know, it's when you buy your client a gift. If you buy him the gift after he gave you the business, that's called akar satoiv. If you gave him the gift before he gives you the business, that's called a bribe. So madich, you have to show akar satoiv. Kolshkin, you got a bribe, right? Because you got to get in.
It's the bracha is on your status.
So you're coming from an altruistic perspective. How you talking? I'm more mechuyev and akar satoiv after. I'm coming from a selfish perspective, for my needs.
I'm coming because the idea of a bracha is akar satoiv, and you don't say akar satoiv before.
Oh, right. So you're coming from an idealistic, altruistic perspective. I'm all self-serving. Hakar shatov, so next time I should get again. You know, when you give a client a gift for giving you a good job, right? You have to tell him. You have to tell him there's more where this came from. I could be makar toiv again.
So really, this is a bribe for the next time.
That's right.
But is the bracha on your feeling has nothing to do with the food? It doesn't matter what you eat. The feel is it's on your status.
I believe
you
so.
updated your status from being hungry to being full. That's really what it is, right?
But I hear you're coming from lemaisa, someone who got. He's more mechuyev than akar shatov. Yeah, so that's not the kal v'chomer. So could be that's why it's not a kal v'chomer, because hagufa. Yeah, so that's why it's only rabban. So ashkechan kerem. So I'll call upon him. We know the kerem. We know if you're going to learn that this brisa of this pasuk of Kodesh Hilul Hashem is only referring to grapes and it's only referring to a kerem, then if we have an extra pasuk there, the extra pasuk that will teach us that you have to make a bracha, well, that also would only apply to a kerem. So how do I know that you have to make a bracha on other meaning that are not grapes? Shar minim minayin. Right.
So he got it already from them.
Oh, so he's surveyed, but he has it. So you have both components. Sorry, I need the apple. And sorry. So it's not like before I found the parking lot. I found the parking lot. I didn't pull in yet. There you got to say thank you. Yeah, but this guy found the parking spot. He didn't pull in yet. He says, Hashem, I'm good. I found something.
That's not benching.
Mati's gewaltig. You hear what Mati says? Here I have both. I have the apple already. So I'm in a situation where I can be makatoiv, and I need it too. So now is the ultimate. That's the pinnacle of when I should make the bracha. Gewaltig. So Keshehu Rav. So the Gemara says, Ashkechan Kerem. Anything that we're going to learn out of this pasuk, according to the Mandam Mahulun's Kerem Avai, would apply to a kerem, would apply to grapes. Shar minim minayin. How do you know you have to make a bracha on bananas? So the Gemara, the Yalef Mikerem. We can learn it out of kerem. Ma kerem, davar shenehena v'tan bracha. Just like kerem is something that you have hana from. If you eat grapes, you have hana from it. And the halach is you need to make a bracha. So from there we can learn the mithabininav av kol davar shenehena, anything that you consume that you have hana from, tan bracha, you have to make a bracha. So that would not be a good limud, because ikal amifrach mal kerem shekein chayv ba'olos. You see, kerem has other halachas of restrictions on the kerem. So maybe kerem, which has more restrictions, maybe only kerem you have to say a bracha on. Who said you have to say a bracha on other things? Oilos, Rashi teaches us, is if you have very, very small grapes that don't yet weigh enough to fold over, and they're also so small that they don't form a cluster. In order for grapes to form a cluster, each of the grapes has to be big enough that it reaches to the next grape, and that creates a cluster. But if each of the grapes are very small, it just looks like fruits on the tree, but they don't form a cluster. So if you have very small grapes, the halach is that you have to leave for the ani. So maybe if Yibalt Kerem has extra halachas, maybe that's where the Torah is moram, is that you have to make a bracha on Kerem. But who said you'd have to make a bracha on other fruits as well, on other foods as well? So we can learn it from kama. Rashi says, kama we know independently requires a bracha. Rashi is coming to Chich, the Ashkechan, the Atzachar Rechman the Bracha, the Chziv Toichel Bo Lechem, the Samach Lei, the Echalta V'Savatu V'Rachta. So, Kama, we know requires a bracha. Kama does not have the Chiv of Oilois, and therefore, I could learn from Kama that you need to make a bracha. In fact, Gemara, you wouldn't know from Kama either, because Mala Kama, Shekin Chayeves Bechala. Kama also has restrictions. Kama, you have to take Chala off. You have to make a freshers as well. So how would you know by a regular fruit that doesn't have any halachas, how would you know that you have to make a bracha? Because it's not chayiv and chala. The chazar adin loyroi zeh karoi zeh, v'loyroi zeh karoi zeh. The chumrah that karam has is not present by kama. The chumrah that kama has is not present by karam. The only thing they have in common is hatzara shavash behen, that they're davar shenehena. They're both products that when you eat them you have a no. And v'tan bracha, and they both have a halacha that you need to make a bracha before you eat them. Avkol davar shenehen tan bracha. So too, it's logical to say that anything else that you have enough from needs a bracha. In fact, the Gemara Mala Tzara Shovash Ben, the Tzara Shovash Ben also has something in common that's unique. That might be the reason why they're chayav a bracha. Shken yesh boy tzad mizbeach. They both have a tzad mizbeach. Rashi says, what's the tzad mizbeach? The yayin is poured on the mizbeach as nesachim, and the soilas is brought as a mincha. I actually thought this is a little unusual. Normally, when we learn a matzad, and each one is unique, and then the Gemara writes a tzad mizbeach, usually the Gemara sticks with the two original individual items, and those two individual items have a looser association, tzad mizbeach. Here, the Gemara starts off with the uniqueness of kerem as being something that has oilois, which is not a tzad mizbeach. It talks about the uniqueness of kama, which needs chala, which again is not a tzad mizbeach. And then when the Gemara wants to say mala tzad shovashin, Rashi tells us that the Gemara means we have to pick two other attributes that they each have